Chefs About Town is brought to you in part by Loxton De-Alcoholized Wines, the elegant alternative wine for your non-drinking guests who enjoy the taste of wine. Remember Loxton. By Kelowna Vineyards, wines to share with friends. And by the Granville Island Brewing Company, Canada's first microbrewery. All proud to be sponsors of British Columbia's regional food and wine program, Chefs About Town.
Hi, once again, my name is Gary Faessler. Welcome to Chefs About Town, you know, the show for people who really love good food. By the way, I'd like to thank Mitch Laser and James Hill. Thanks, guys, that was great.
Yeah,
my
sure.
guest today is Adam Busby from Star Anise restaurant.
Hey, Gary, how you doing?
How you doing?
Good to see you again.
It's great for you to be here again. I actually filmed a show with Adam a couple of years ago when you were with Bishop's Restaurant in Vancouver. Now you have your own restaurant.
That's right, I do.
Place.
Star Anise Restaurant.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. We're having a great time. We've been open for about 9 months now.
That's exciting.
And just trucking along, having fun.
It's a beautiful room.
Nice.
Very warm. It's nice in yellows and golds. And
Yeah, it's kind of, I think, cozy, intimate. It's a great setting, yeah.
How many seats?
We seat about 45 people, something like that, so it's pretty small.
Nice number, though. It's very kind of a romantic, could be romantic, intimate place to go.
I think so, especially in the evening.
Especially in the evening. There's a whole different ambiance than in the daytime.
That's right, yeah.
And you're just up the street from the studio, actually.
That's right, 12th and
From the
Granville.
studio, 12th and Granville in Vancouver, so let's get that in. Well, today we're going to be preparing one of my favorite dishes, actually. It's a West Coast seafood stew, and it's something that I've done on the show before, but many years ago, and I think it's well worth doing again. And we'll put a little bit of a different twist on it, of course, because this is your own recipe.
That's right.
And well, let's run through this. Let's run through the ingredients here. What do we have?
Sure, absolutely. Well, I like to make this a little bit hearty. You know, I like that sort of whole comfort food type of idea.
Yeah.
So I put a few things in that maybe some people don't put in. Like, for example...
Well, I'm looking at the chorizo.
The chorizo sausage, yeah. And I like to put that in because it really gives it a bit of a kick, you know. When you're eating it, you've got this spicy sausage and the sort of sweet seafood and the crunchy, garlicky toast. Really makes the dish interesting and have sort of dimensions instead of just being, you know, one thing. So
I'm
we got some
hungry just thinking about
chorizo and tomato and onion and a little bit of fennel here.
Right. Now the fennel is going to give a nice, with the spiciness of the Italian sausage, the fennel has that nice anise licorice.
That's right. Yeah,
So
absolutely.
There's a lot going on here, kind of that yin and yang.
Of course, a lot at Star Anise.
Yeah, right. Star anise, but a lot of people may not know what star anise means. Why don't you mention that?
It's a little spice.
Didn't happen to bring any, did you?
No, I got a little one on my jacket.
If you could get
here.
a close-up.
It's a little sort of 5 or 8 pointed seed, and it's got that licorice type
that
flavor.
anise licorice flavor to it. Yeah,
absolutely. Some green onions, some toast, which we're going to be cooking and rubbing with a bit of garlic.
Right.
Got some chives. And then over here we have our seafood that we're going to put in. We've got some salmon, a nice local oyster, some scallops, some local spot prawn tails, some mussels, and
of course
some
our
clams. And then the ingredients we're going to build it up with is we've got some olive oil. We've got a little bit of sort of bouillabaisse base, as I like to call it. It's really a tomato sauce flavored with a little bit of saffron. And I have some clam juice here, which we're going to use to...
So it's just a simple tomato sauce with a little saffron in it.
A little bit of saffron in it, yeah.
Taste this quickly.
Real easy to make. Just saute up some onions and tomatoes. And put in a little stock, a little bit of saffron, maybe some wine.
That is fantastic.
Yeah, cook it out.
A little pasta in that sauce, and
that would be
you'd
nice.
be laughing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Be great. Well, let's get started.
Okay, let's get
Maybe
going.
you get the...
Absolutely.
Let's kick the fire on.
Let's get this warmed up here. Put that on, and I'll give you the...
Make sure you got the right one.
Yeah, no, it's the front one.
Good.
I'll give you the fennel over here. You can slice that up fairly finely. I'm just going to...
You want it fine?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cut it fairly fine. I'll tell you why, because shellfish and the fish in this dish take so little time to cook that you don't want to have anything in here which takes too long to cook. So we're going to get you to cut that up pretty fine.
Of course. And I like to do things on the show whenever possible. I don't always, but I like to prepare the dishes on the show a la minute or in real time.
That's right. Yeah. This is a really fast dish to make. You could, if you have all the ingredients laid out like we have here, we can make it in a few short minutes.
Right, but we're not because we want to. It's a half-hour show.
It's a half-hour show. That's right. Okay, so I've got my olive oil warmed up here. I'm going to put in our onions, and then because our tomato sauce is also.
Should I throw the fennel in?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Because the tomato sauce is kind of fine here, I'm just going to cut this tomato up fairly coarsely, just to give the whole thing a little bit of body. Okay.
Also, tomatoes tend to disintegrate and dissolve if you cut them up to.
There you go.
Oh, thanks.
Okay. Just going to cut this up in a couple of coarse pieces.
Already. Now, is there anything better than olive oil and onions cooking away?
I don't know. That flavor, the smell.
The smell is
it's beautiful.
Phenomenal.
Yeah. Okay. Now, because there's already garlic in this sauce here, I'm not going to use the garlic in here.
Well, I was disappointed when I didn't see more than 8 cloves or something.
Well, the toast really captivates the garlic, so we don't really need it too much in here.
Okay.
Gonna let that cook a bit. I'm going to put a little bit of green onion in there as well. Okay. And then the ingredients, the fish ingredients that we have here today, what we really need to do is we need to decide which ones are going to go in the pot first, so that they all cook or they're all finished cooking at the same time, right? If I put my oyster in first and my clams in last, I'm going to have an overcooked.
You're going to have a rubbery oyster and the clams aren't going to be open yet.
Exactly. Okay. So that's what we're going to decide.
Okay.
How we're going to go about that. And we're just going to cook this over a medium heat here for 2 or 3 minutes, and as we say, let it sweat a little bit.
Well, let's let it sweat then and have
a little glass of wine.
While we're sweating, let's have a little wine.
Okay.
Actually, the wine I picked to go with the fish stew is made by Gray Monk. It's one of our finest estate wineries in the Okanagan. Oh, sorry about that. Slosh. I have too much in my glass.
It smells wonderful.
It's a Pinot Gris, and this is actually...
this will go great with it.
This is from my cellar, and this was made in 1990.
Right.
And I still have 8 bottles left. And it's amazing how well this wine is aging and maturing, and it's getting better and better and better.
It's beautiful.
And it has a nice acidity to it. It has a nice fruit. And I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be great because we wouldn't want a great big red. Or a lot of people might think of having a big red or something with this because of the tomatoes and the chorizo and the garlic and all those. But I think that those 2 big flavors of a big red wine and this fish stew, they would clash too much. So I wanted something that would just go well with it.
Great temperature too, not too cold, full of flavor, full of.
Well, that's the best way to have a really good white wine is basically at room temperature, maybe just slightly cool. Then you know that the wine is very good because when you have wine ice cold, your palate is frozen. You can't taste any flaws or anything bad.
That's right.
Anyway, I had an opportunity to have a chat with George Heiss up at Gray Monk in Winfield, up in the Okanagan. It's close by Vernon. I think it's the northernmost winery in British Columbia, actually. Right. And well, let's take a look at that day's chat. We walked through the vineyards and we drank some wine. It was wonderful. And we'll be right back after that.
Great.
What we're doing is getting people out of the tasting room out to the vineyards. Come all the way to the Okanagan to see where the grapes are growing, and you spend all your time in a tasting room.
That's right.
Get out into the fields, look at the grapes, touch them, feel them, taste them, and have the wine beside
them, eat them, let the juice run down your chin.
And in the tasting room, we offer the current vintages. But out here, we've selected older vintages of some of our best wines. This is our first station in the vineyard.
First station.
And I think you might
George,
recognize this guy.
how you doing? It's good
How
to
are you,
see
Gary?
you. Oh, great, great. Been here for 8 days now at the wine festival. Eating
no
and
doubt.
drinking and working, of course, very, very hard.
And no doubt enjoying every minute of it.
enjoying every moment of it.
Great.
And I can sleep later when I get home.
Yes, that's
So-
the good time to sleep.
This is the first station in the
Okay.
vineyard tasting. What do we have?
We have an 82 Gewürztraminer
Oh, wonderful.
and an 87 Pinot Noir Syrah.
Great. Now,
We start with the 82 Gewürztraminer.
That's quite old.
Yes,
Now
that's
this-
10 years old now, and it comes from those plants right here,
Right here.
which is the Alsace clone of Gewürztraminer.
Mm-hmm.
And it gives you more this earth taste than that sort of heavy, flowery, perfumey taste of the normal Gewürztraminer.
Okay.
Glass for you, George.
Yeah, thanks. What a beautiful
have
color. What a beautiful color.
If you don't mind, I'll have a glass with you.
Not at all. But this color is extraordinary.
It aged actually very, very well. For a Gewürztraminer, I am very, very happy with it.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Mmm. I could drink a bottle of that, no problem.
It wouldn't
It-
be hard.
It
Would
is
not be
lovely.
hard
It goes
at all.
down easy.
Mhm.
Smooth. Lovely varietal character. A lot of nice fruit.
Can you see that with scallops?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A little scallops, a little pasta, a little cream sauce.
Right.
Touch of nutmeg. Go, let's go. And cook that. No, no, we have some more tasting to do.
Now I'm hungry.
Okay, well, we have to drink this then and,
Yep.
and try the Pinot. Oh, gosh, that's lovely.
87 Pinot Noir, not quite as old. Unfortunately, I didn't have enough of the earlier varieties to do a complete tasting here, so I only got the odd bottle left.
Well, I mean, they're very rare. And
Yeah, they're
you've
getting
sold most
very,
of them,
very
and of course,
rare.
you drink some of them too. So some of the
Well,
older
we have to check
vintages.
and see how well the
Oh,
age.
it's coming
you see.
along. Yes,
That's
it's
right.
very important.
It's a terrible job, but
Okay.
somebody's got to
Now
do
the
it.
color, yes, somebody, and it's either you or I. The color on this is much lighter, and
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's part of due to the varietal.
Due to the
Pinot
varietal, Pinot Noir is quite a pale wine to start with, and being only 5 years old, consequently, it hasn't really achieved that real deep
Yeah, only
color
5 years
yet.
old, but it's still
It's
pretty
only
nice.
5 years old.
Oh, I love it.
It's still.
I love it.
It's still quite fresh.
Oh, it is. It's
For
fresh,
5
but
years old.
it's still. The vintages, when they get older, these wines get so full, and a nice body, and they get delicious. I think they just get better and better.
I'm
and better.
amazed. I'm amazed how well they keep.
Yeah. Listen, let's go to the next tasting table, and let's walk down there if we can.
1983. Oh, I think we still can.
Yeah. What are we having down there?
We're having, if I remember correctly,
Yeah.
we have an 83 Ehrenfelser
Yes.
Cabinet
Yes.
and an 83 Kerner Auslese, which to my surprise,
That
held
sounds
up
delicious.
Absolutely beautiful.
Are you okay, man?
Well, yeah.
Okay, George. Here we are at station number 3. We made it
We made it.
down the hill, down the vineyards.
It's a good thing it was downhill.
Darn good thing. Darn good thing it was downhill.
Now here we
what did we
have
try here?
1983 Ehrenfelser Cabinet,
Yes.
1983 Kerner Auslese. Dessert wine, quite a bit of
Oh,
residual
wonderful.
sugar.
An 83.
And an 85 Siegerrebe.
I'm sorry. A what?
1985
Siegerrebe.
Siegerrebe.
Cigarette.
Yeah.
Did I say that right?
Yes, you did.
What a fluke.
Yes.
Okay. Hi.
We
Hi.
start
Hi,
out.
Diane.
How are you?
Good. Excellent.
Start out with the Ehrenfelser.
Okay. I hope there's some laughter.
Good, good. Very
Oh,
little.
beautiful. And this is a 1983.
83 Ehrenfelser.
What a treat.
And we're right behind Diane. This is the Ehrenfelser block. So far, it hasn't been picked yet, and I'm trying to keep it on as long as I possibly can. So we'll
Right,
see how long,
right.
what I can get out of this block.
Good for you.
Right at this point
Yeah.
in time, they have 22 grams per liter residual sugar. And I would see if I like to see if I can get them to 24 or 25.
So you're just going to let the
for
grapes
a real late harvest.
stay on the vines as long as possible because it's still very warm.
Oh yeah, it's very warm, and as you can see, the leaves are not really turning yellow yet. They're still nice and green.
However, it can change very quickly.
What we're doing now is risky.
Yes, it is. It's very risky. After a year's work.
Yeah.
And anyway, it certainly paid off in 1983. I think this is lovely. Okay, Diane, next.
We'll try I think we'll try the Cigarreba next, and we'll leave the Kerner for the absolute last.
Okay, great.
Because it has the most residual sugar.
Now, I'm
all
totally ignorant of the Cigarreba. I have no idea what this
is.
It's
a strong muscat flavor. It's pure vinifera.
Okay.
It's a very old cross out of Europe. Go ahead, Diane.
Yeah.
And it's a very old cross out of Europe.
Right.
And it's very nice grape variety. Thank you. It's a little bit touchy as far as frost is concerned. It has a really strong muscat flavor.
A very delicate flavor to it. Very delicate.
It makes what I like. It's like as a very light dessert wine.
Yes,
you know?
absolutely. Nice with cheese and fruit. And,
yes, cheese and fruit. I love it with a lemon cheesecake, for instance.
Well, yes.
I
can think of other things. An apple tart and some cheese would be wonderful.
Yes.
And we can go on and on and on. I'm getting hungry. Well,
Me too.
Let's drink this because we're running out of tape.
You started me on those. Actually, I started it with the scallops.
Oh, with the scallops. That's right.
Terrible.
Well, he loves food as much as I do.
The only difference on you, it doesn't show as much as it does on me.
Well, I think it is kind of creeping up on me, actually. Now, the Kerner.
Kerner Auslese.
Kerner Auslese.
That was an excellent year for Kerner, 83.
And it's almost finished.
Good, thank you. Quite a bit of residual sugar. And this one stood up amazingly well.
This is the best way, has to be the best way to try, any wines, let alone such rare vintage library wines. And with the winemaker himself. I mean, I'm just in my glory here. It's wonderful. Thank you, George. Let's try
I
this.
enjoy it too.
Oh, that is lovely. Oh. We're going to continue to say how lovely this is and drink it. But we have to get back to Vancouver now, so see you back in Vancouver.
Bye.
Okay, we're back. Now, Adam.
Yes.
We forgot to put the chorizo in before we left
forgot
the
to
break.
put the chorizo in, but the chorizo's in now. See, we sliced it up nice and thinly.
So it'll cook fast?
Yeah, exactly. So it'll cook quickly.
Okay.
And we've put that in with the onions and
Look
the
how
fennel and
everything
the
is
tomorrow.
caramelizing and the sugars are getting out, and it looks great.
Yeah, okay. So now I've got it on high heat there. I'm going to add the tomato sauce, which has the
delicious
saffron flavor in it.
Okay, saffron, garlic, and tomato sauce. Basically, that's all it is.
Basically, that's all it is. Yeah, it doesn't have to be too overcomplicated. You got a lot of flavor in the pot already, okay? So I put that in, and as you can see, it's a little bit too thick to poach any fish in right now.
Just a tad, yeah.
Exactly. So I've got some clam juice.
Oh.
Now you can get this at any sort of large supermarket, anything like that, in a little can.
Any of your generic supermarkets, there's bottled or canned. But they do tend to be a little salty.
A little salty, that's
Actually, this one, I don't know which we can't mention which one it is, but this is very good. It's not very salty.
Right.
But many of them I've tried before when I've used them in fish stocks or whatever, have been very salty. So you don't need to add any salt.
No. Especially the chorizo's highly spiced.
It already has salt in it as well.
Yeah. So we just add enough of that to make it kind of nice and soupy. Okay. And then I'm going to put the lid on it.
Great.
And bring it up to the simmer, and then we'll go ahead and add our shellfish, and then finally the fish. While we're doing that, I need you to make some toast for me here.
Oh, sure.
So I've got a pan.
Okay.
And we can get that going in the oven, and I'll work on the fish.
What do you want me to do? Just
brown it off. Just brown it off, and then we're going to rub it with the garlic clove to make it nice.
So I don't even put oil on it?
No, just like that.
Oh, I think I can do that.
In the oven. Done. And I'm going to work on the fish over here. Got a little.
All these years of cooking have paid off. Yeah, I can brown toast.
Exactly.
Well, we'll see. Okay.
Okay. So This, what we're doing here is really, I would say, ample food for 2 people.
Right.
Okay. We're going to put it in one bowl at the end of the show, but it would be plenty for 2 people.
Absolutely.
So you can put it in the middle of the table and serve it for 2. So the salmon, I'm just going to cut this up a little bit so it cooks a little bit quicker.
Beautiful salmon too.
Yeah.
It's translucent.
That's
It
right.
obviously look
Yeah.
very, very fresh.
I like mine a little bit pink in the center. Okay.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So.
Are we going to put this in at the very end then?
No, I think the last thing we'll put in is the oyster.
Okay.
Okay. We're going to start off with the clams because
Right.
they take longest to cook, and then we'll throw in, I'd say, pretty well at the same time the mussels and the salmon.
Okay.
And then we'll put the scallops and the prawns in,
and the prawns.
and finally the oyster in at the end. Okay. So I'm just going
Okay.
to go ahead. You can see it's boiling away
Sure.
now. We're just going to put our clams in there.
If the stock gets a bit thick, just add water. You know, or a little bit
Or
more
a little bit
stock
more
if
clam
you
juice.
want. But you can just add water because basically that's all that's evaporating is the water anyway.
That's right. That's right. And okay, so we've got all this organized. And for a little garnish, we're going to cut up a little bit of green onion and some chives.
Okay.
Have that ready.
Do you want me to,
put on the, sure. Why don't you do that? Why don't you
do
just
that?
cut that on a little bit of a bias, and I'll chop
Okay.
up some chives here.
Great.
And we'll keep an eye on the toast. Maybe have a little more wine. We'll be
Do you
left.
want some more wine? Let me give you some more wine. What's it? So, okay, this is your own restaurant now. What are the big differences from working for someone else? I really am putting you in the spot because this isn't scripted, this show, you know, obviously. I mean, like I had to tell you, it's pretty spontaneous. I mean, it's a big deal to have your own restaurant. It's a lot of work.
That's right. Obviously, the biggest difference is you can't quit. You can't say I'm out of here. But no, it's nice to be in a position where you can do whatever you want. You know, whatever spirit takes you, or whatever trend you feel like doing, or if you feel like setting a trend, you can do that, and you don't have
No one else is telling you what to do.
no one standing behind you.
That's
saying,
right. So your successes are your own and your failures are your own.
That's right.
Yeah.
You see our clams already started to open up a
Okay.
little bit there. We got this on a really high boil.
Right.
So we're going to put in the mussels and the salmon,
Okay.
and we'll check the toast.
Okay. Well, yes. Let's check the toast.
Keep an eye on the toast.
Ah, it looks fine.
Beautiful.
Okay,
I'm going to
let's
turn this
maybe-
down just a little bit here. Okay.
Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take a very quick break,
Okay.
and then we're going to come back and we're
Finish
because
her.
this just takes a few seconds, right?
Seconds.
We're going to come back and we're going to plate this, and we'll be right back after this.
Kitchen facilities for chefs about town provided by the De Bruyne French Culinary School. To train for a career in the food industry is to invest in your future. The Adami cookware and Gold Hamster first-class knives used on the show are supplied by W.H. Puttyfoot Limited, Kerrisdale, and W.H. Puttyfoot Limited Restaurant and Hotel Division.
This is delicious. It's getting hot in here.
It's wonderful.
Okay.
Exhausting.
Where are we with
Okay, we're just about done here, actually, as you can see.
the toast? Hold on.
Oh, grab the toast, Gary.
Oh, boy, that's close.
Okay. Right. So you want to rub those slices of toast with the
Okay.
garlic.
Some
Okay.
garlic, just
Nice fresh clove of
Wonderful,
garlic.
wonderful,
While
wonderful.
I add the prawns and the scallops and our oyster over here. Look at that. Doesn't that look good? Huh?
oh,
You hungry
beautiful,
or what?
Beautiful. Yeah. Starving. I am.
Excellent. Good. So now we've added these last few ingredients. This literally takes, let's say, about another 30 seconds or something to cook. You want to cook it on a fairly slow heat too. You really don't want to boil fish, you know.
No,
It
not at all.
tends to toughen it
no,
up and it goes all
it'll
gross.
toughen up, but also I don't like boiling any soups once the meats are in,
That's right.
because they'll start to disintegrate and
Exactly.
fall apart.
Yeah.
What do we do with this? With the bread?
The idea there is the toast is picking up, of course, all the garlic. So you have a nice, fresh, garlicky toast. It's nice
Right.
and crisp,
Okay.
and it sort of builds a bridge between the wine we're having and the shellfish.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
So as soon as you finish that, we can get that in the bowl.
Okay,
Yeah,
like this?
Just kind of arrange it in a little star shape.
Okay,
Okay. Wonderful. I'll get this out of your way.
I'll try. Thank you.
Beautiful. Okay. And then we can go ahead and put the
Stop laughing over there.
The broth in there.
There, star shape.
Beautiful.
See, Nathan? Star shape.
Excellent.
There you go.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Okay, we're all cooked up here. And I'll ladle some of this in there.
Listen,
like I
I'll
said,
bring this a little closer to you here.
Okay. Like I said, Gary, this is a big stew here. This would be enough for 2 people easily. So maybe maybe we won't put it all in the bowl.
Okay, whatever you think.
Okay. Just ladle that in there. See how easy this was? This
Beautiful.
took us just a couple of minutes.
Now, I wanted to
Smell
mention
that?
about the saffron too, because the saffron has given this not only color, but it's also given it a lot of body. It gives us the soups or stocks a very buttery flavor and consistency. But if you use too much, it starts to taste medicinal, and it overpowers and will ruin your sauces.
That's right.
So you want to use a
Sparingly.
just a pinch
Sparingly.
of saffron for this whole pot would be plenty, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And don't forget, it takes a little while for the flavor to come out of the saffron. So if you put it in near the end of
It's
making
not
your
gonna
tomato
work.
sauce, it's not going to work. Or when you're cooking the stew out, all of a sudden it's going to become too
Huge.
much, too
Yeah.
intense, right? Okay. So like I said, there's a lot there. So I'm just going to put this over here, and we can put that in another dish.
Okay.
And then this little dish here,
Let's
you
just
can
press this a little bit.
garnish with a little bit of your green onions.
Beautiful.
And I've got some
Oh,
chives
right.
that I've
Okay,
cut up
let's
over
do that.
here. You can put a little bit of that on. Boom. There you go.
Now this is
It could be easier.
Look at this is simple, stunning. This is very regional because here in British Columbia we're blessed with a plethora of shellfish and seafoods and things. And right now it's we're filming this in the winter of '94. It's a bit cool and it's cold for us.
It is cold for
Not
us.
back east. I mean, that's it's pretty balmy actually here
Yeah.
compared to the rest of Canada. But this is a great winter dish, I think.
It is, absolutely.
And it's good all year round, however, but it's after the turkeys and all the venisons and the hams,
right.
I think that this
A little bit
seafood...
refreshing, but it's still hearty. You can still get in
Yeah,
there, tuck in
yeah,
there,
yeah.
open up the clams and mussels, get in there with a fork.
Oh, I'm
Try.
going to get in there with a fork,
Why don't you
actually.
try
I'm going to
some?
try some of this,
Absolutely.
actually. I'm going to get one of these prawns here, these spot prawns. Man, it's going to be hot, though.
How does that smell? It's good?
Oh. And the prawn is
Perfect. We just added it at the end. You saw
just
that.
barely cooked. It's
That's
fantastic.
right. Yeah.
It's sweet, the saffron, the garlic, a little chorizo.
It's one of those dishes, the less you cook, the better it is, actually. It's okay?
Oh, it's delicious.
Wonderful. Excellent.
How much time do we have? A couple minutes? Okay, great. What else do you have on your menu?
Well, this, like I said, this is one of the dishes on our winter menu. I've tried to do a few classical dishes with sort of a more modern outlook or a more modern technique, or maybe even a healthier outlook.
How do you mean modern, healthier outlook? Do you mean less butter, cream?
Well, because I trained in Europe for a while, I tend to, a lot of the things I do are classical. So lately I've been trying to lighten everything up and use healthier ingredients, less cream, less sauces. And in fact, I'm thinking that coming up in this new year, I'm going to try and do a whole new cuisine without sauces. That might sound crazy, but just with a few very sharp tasting ingredients or oils or flavored vinegars, just a little bit on the plate, and get away from this whole, get
Really
it
clean.
Less ingredients, more flavor, intensity.
Okay,
That's what I'm
so the
going for.
intensity will come through. The star ingredient will be the fish, for example, or
Exactly.
the cut of meat or whatever, and not the sauces and
That's
all
right.
and all of the things that highlight or flatter. But the star will be like if it's a piece of rockfish, it's going to be
right.
the rockfish is going to shine.
As long as it's the best piece of rockfish.
That's the important thing.
That's the important thing.
It has to be, if you're not going to smother it with sauces and gloopy flour sauces and wines and things,
That's right.
the fish better be good.
Yeah.
Listen, we got to go.
Okay.
I'm going to tuck into this a little bit more. We're going to drink some more of Trudy and George Senior and
Beautiful.
Junior Heiss's wines and talk about the virtues of using clean, real, seasonal, regional foods. So while we do
Cheers.
that, cheers. I'd like to thank my guest, Adam Busby, executive chef and / owner of the Star Anise restaurant, 12th and Granville in Vancouver. And for those across the country who watch the show, when you come into Vancouver, it's definitely one of the restaurants I would dine in. My name is Gary Faessler for Chefs About Town. Until we see you next time, please enjoy yourselves, eat well, and drink well. Bye
Cheers.
now.
Chefs About Town is brought to you in part by Loxton De-Alcoholized Wines, the elegant alternative wine for your non-drinking guests who enjoy the taste of wine. Remember Loxton. By Kelowna Vineyards, wines to share with friends. And by the Granville Island Brewing Company, Canada's first microbrewery. All proud to be sponsors of British Columbia's regional food and wine program, Chefs About Town.
Chefs About Town, British Columbia's first regional food and wine series, is now available on 5 VHS video cassettes. Each tape consists of 2 selected 30-minute programs and easy-to-follow recipe cards for only $16 plus tax. The Chefs About Town video library can be purchased at the following locations: